Namaste, welcome to our yin and restorative yoga practice. My name is Michelle Chua, and physically we're going to have an all-around opening practice with a couple focuses, the fronts of the shoulders and bringing the legs into wide-legged positions to open up the inner thighs, groins, and hamstrings. And of course, we'll get into mindfulness. Please make sure you have as many props as you have available, such as a couple of blocks, a strap, a bolster, and a blanket. And I invite you to sit in a way that you can bring the legs out in front of you, turning open the thighs, maybe propped on any of your props so that you can feel more ease, relaxing the thighs open. And if you tend to cross one shin in front or on top of the other most of the time, and I invite you to switch so the other hip gets a bit more opening. So take a moment to settle in, silencing phones, putting them aside, and finding some stillness. You may have heard the story before. It goes around in the mindfulness arenas. It's a story about a farmer. And it goes like this. There was a farmer who used an old horse to till his fields and help grow his crops. One day, the horse ran off into the hills and never came back. When the farmer's neighbors heard about this, they felt bad for him and said, "I'm sorry for your bad luck." The farmer replied, "Bad luck? Maybe yes, maybe no." A week later, the horse came back with a herd of wild horses from the hills. The neighbors saw this and exclaimed to the farmer, "Wow, what good news." The farmer took a deep breath and said, "Good news? Maybe yes, maybe no." The following day, the farmer's son was trying to tame one of the wild horses. When he tried to ride the horse, he fell off and landed on his back and broke his leg. Again, the neighbors talked. "That's too bad. What a bad thing to happen." The farmer again took another deep breath before responding. "Bad thing? Maybe yes, maybe no." A week later, the army came marching through the farmer's village. They were looking to draft young, able-bodied men to join the army because the country was about to go to war. They stopped by the farmer's house and found his son with a broken leg and decided not to draft him as he could not fight. Now, was that good or bad luck? Maybe yes, maybe no. There's a Chinese proverb that says exactly that. Good luck, bad luck, who knows? In mindfulness and yoga philosophy, there's a word called equanimity. And it's the ability to tap into your inner deep sense of peace so that regardless of the changing circumstances of life, you can have a sense of inner peace, inner calm. In yoga philosophy, the Yoga Sutras talks about two of the several main causes of suffering, and they're kind of two sides of the same coin. One cause is aversion, when we're trying so hard to run away from or avoid something that we think will bring us displeasure. And then the other side of the coin is trying so hard to cling and attach to what we think will bring us pleasure. Remembering that life, as we talked about last week, is the only constant thing about it is change. And so equanimity is a powerful tool to be with the flow of change that is life. So how do you create a space between the stimulus, whatever's happening externally in your life in the moment, and your response to it? Our meditation practice that we sit for in the end for a few minutes is a powerful tool in cultivating that ability to pause and come back to ourselves as loving awareness. And so can we bring that loving awareness into our physical yoga practice? Noticing when reactivity might arise in your body, in your mind. And when it does, giving yourself a moment to pause before doing anything and observe. And see if that creates a little more sense of inner freedom and peace. Let's begin now by maybe closing the eyes, finding stillness, and noticing the sensations in your body. To observe what you're working with physically in this practice. Notice the way breath is flowing without changing it. Feeling your energy as you enter your practice. Notice the state of your mind and heart. Sensing how you feel mentally and emotionally as you begin the practice. Meeting yourself exactly where you are in each of these layers. Allow a deeper breath in through your nose. And then open the mouth to let it go. Even deeper breath in through the nose. Even slower exhale through the mouth. Breath by breath, gently stretching a little slower. You might even place your hands along the left and right walls of your rib cage and invite the breath to expand there. Feeling the softening of the muscles between your ribs as you breathe out. As you continue to deepen your breath, I invite you to allow a moment to think of something today that you are grateful for. Anything. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to open our hearts and our minds, especially as we begin our practice. And now clarify what you're choosing to focus your mind, your energy on expanding. Setting your intention or personal prayer for today. Is remember that we all affect each other, inevitably near or far. I invite you to choose somebody that you might like to dedicate today's practice to, a way of intentionally sending support for somebody else's peace and well-being. And together, let's join our voices, connecting to the vibrational sound at the center of our Mother Earth, Om, chanting it 3 times. Let in a deep breath. And let's begin a practice of breathing that helps to regulate our energy, to balance it. And it also invites calm and focus into our mind and bodies. It's a practice called Ujjayi Pranayama, which is Sanskrit for victorious breathing. So try it. Close your mouth and breathe just through your nose and softly narrow the back of your throat so that you can hear a very gentle whispering sound to your breath. And then I'm going to start to count to 5 as we breathe in, to 5 as we breathe out, balancing and lengthening the breath equally in and out. Listen to the qualities of your breathing and invite slow, steady, smooth rhythm. So let's practice a few times together. Empty this breath. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5. Exhale 5. Try a few more times counting in your mind. You might even slow it down more if that's comfortable for you. And see if you can keep that gently audible rhythm in your breath going, especially at the beginning of our practice where we'll warm up the body through gentle movements. So from here, I invite you to come down into hands and knees, tabletop pose, spreading your fingers flat on the floor and stacking your shoulders on top of your wrists. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips back, entering downward facing dog. Spend the first few breaths just moving your body any way that it may need to loosen up, like pedaling your feet in place. Maybe swiveling your hips side to side as you do that. Perhaps shaking and nodding your head to relax your neck. Lifting the shoulders back. Pulling the hips high and back. And you can stay in downward dog or come down to your knees. On your next inhale, sweep your right leg behind you towards the sky. As you exhale, bend your right knee and turn out the thigh at the hip. Staying there, inhale, tack the left outer hip back. And exhale, step the right foot forward to the right side of your right hand. Come into a high lunge on your fingertips. You might place blocks under your hands so that you can have your hands the height you need to be able to relax your shoulders and breathe well. So bending the front knee just above the heel but not in front of it, come into a high lizard lunge. As you breathe in, let your pelvis sink down, lifting your chest. Now keep your feet where they are, and as you breathe out, begin to draw your right thigh bone back into the hip socket to whatever degree you can comfortably straighten the legs, and bow forward to the inside of the right shin as if you have a flat back. Let's keep going like this 4 more times. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. And exhale, pyramid. Now come back to a lunge. Lower onto hands and knees. Hands flat on the floor. And let's move the shoulders a bit in cat-cow. So as you breathe in, roll your shoulders back and down, lifting your chest, look up. As you breathe out, press the ground away with the hands, contract your belly and round your back. Again, inhale, reach your chest forward, roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale, lift the belly in to dome your back. And keep going, maybe another 2 or 3 cycles of breath. And at the end of your next exhalation, tuck your toes and lift your hips back into downward facing dog. When you arrive, Inhale, sweep your left leg back. Exhale, bend the left knee and turn out the thigh at the hip. Staying there. Inhale, tack your right outer hip back. Then exhale, gently step the left foot forward to the left side of your left hand. Stay high in the ball of the right foot with both hands on the inner side of the front foot. Maybe hands on blocks. Make sure you're bending the front knee just above the heel, not in front of the heel. And as you breathe in, sink your pelvis, lift your chest. Keep your feet where they are. As you breathe out, scissor the left hip back towards straightening both legs. Bow into the inside of the front leg. Pyramid pose. Again, inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Now inhale, lunge. Lower down to hands and knees once again. And this time I'm going to invite you to place your two blocks on their lowest or medium height. If you have skinny blocks and they don't feel stable to put on the medium height, you can put on the lowest height. Touching each other across the front of your mat so that your knees are about a foot behind the blocks. We're going to open up the triceps and the lats. So extend your arms forward, rotate your triceps downward so that you feel your shoulder blades protract, spreading them apart. And then press your shoulder blades down your back ribs at the same time. Then bend your elbows. Place the elbows on the blocks, exactly your shoulders distance apart. And press your fingertips into each other. Draw your shoulders back and step your knees back a couple of inches behind your hips. As you start to trace your thumbs down the back of your skull towards the back of your neck, and maybe even further, drop the head, sink the chest, and firm the belly up towards your back so as not to dump into the lower back. We're here for maybe 5 more breaths. Make sure the elbows do not splay wider than shoulders distance. Wrapping the triceps down, even here, slide the shoulders back. Relax the muscles in your face, like your jaw. And lengthen through the sides of your torso. Last 2 breaths. Engage the belly to lift yourself up and off the blocks, setting the blocks aside. Let's step the left foot forward. Pivot your feet to face the wide width of your mat to your right. So you may want to have a couple of blocks there. Have a strap to take with you in your hands. And then come into a wide stance, parallel your feet generously wide apart. And then bend your knees as needed as you bow over your legs. Shift your weight as far forward as you can bound so your hips are in line with your ankles rather than behind your ankles. And let your head hang loose. How's your breathing? Now, take the strap behind your back and hold it between your hands with your thumbs pointing away from your spine. Separate your hands as wide apart as you need so that you can get a good range of motion of stretching the arms away from your lower back to open the front of your shoulders. Bend your elbows slightly and lift your shoulders while dropping your head to create more space in your neck. You might even softly shake your head no a few times. Maybe flutter the lips to loosen the jaw. Nod your head yes. And as you might get warmer in the shoulders, you can walk your hands closer and closer together. Maybe they clasp with the heels of the palms touching. Maybe not. A few more deep breaths. You could sway the spine. Letting your spine hang loose. One more breath. Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide-legged forward fold. Now from here, release the arms, bend your knees a lot more. Place your hands to your hips, point your elbows towards the sky. And on an inhale, lead with your chest and very slowly lift your spine upright to stand. Now from both hips, rotate your thighs externally or turn them out, pivoting your feet so that as you bend your knees into a wide-legged squat, you can point the center of your knees in the direction of your middle toes. With your hands gently pressing your inner thighs to splay apart, lift your frontal hip bones and draw your tailbone downward, lengthening through the lower back up to the crown of the head. Relax the shoulders. Now, as you splay the inner thighs apart, sinking the hips, stretch the spine up, breathe in, and then exhale, dip your left shoulder forward. I'm mirroring you here. It doesn't matter which shoulder, actually, because we're going to switch side. And look over the opposite shoulder towards the sky, staying here for a few breaths. Inhale, sink the pelvis some more. Stretch the spine from it. Keep splaying the thighs apart. Exhale, keep rotating the rib cage. One more breath. Inhale, come back through center, straighten the legs. Exhale, re-bend your knees, pressing the thighs apart, sink the hips, stretch the spine tall. And then exhale, dip the opposite shoulder forward and look over the other. Draw the shoulders down the back. Couple more breaths here. Inhale back to center. And straighten the legs. Heel toe your feet close enough together so that you can comfortably lower down to sit. Now please place, you know what, let's get into our fronts of the shoulders just a little bit more before we get on our backs. So you may want to have a block off to the side of the top of your mat. The rest of your pops, you'll probably want them near the back of the mat, so you can send them over there. And let's come on down to our stomachs, lying with the right ear to the floor. So the block is just to the right side of that ear on the ground. And slide your right arm wide open to the right on the floor, so your palm is face down, in line with the right shoulder. Press the ground away with the left hand beside the left shoulder and start to roll over towards your right outer hip, leaning the right ear on the block. Pause and slide your right shoulder blade down your back ribs to lengthen the right side of your neck, and observe what sensations you're feeling in the front of the right shoulder, guiding you to how far back you need to lean. Some of you might step the left foot behind you, maybe wrap the left arm behind you, maybe also bend the right knee and step the right foot on the ground. We're here for 5 to 10 more deep breaths. So I asked you in the beginning how you might integrate the practice of equanimity in our physical postures. Sometimes when we feel really deep tension or discomfort, we might find a reactivity, whether in our bodies or our minds. Remember, we talked about aversion, avoidance, or clinging. So observing when any sort of reactivity starts to arise, can you give yourself a pause before doing anything and allow a deep breath or a few? And just to be in the seat of loving awareness. And just notice what happens after that pause within you. And with an exhalation, start to unwind onto your belly. Taking your time to switch sides, you might transfer the block to the left side of your skull. Open the left arm wide on the ground, palm face down, in line with the left shoulder. And as you press the ground away with right hand beside the right shoulder, start to roll over towards your left outer hip, leaning the left ear on the block. Pause a moment to slide the left shoulder blade down your back ribs, lengthening the left side of your neck. And really pay attention to how the left shoulder is speaking to you. It might be different than the right shoulder. Notice how far back you need to lean or how little you need to lean back. Maybe adding the right arm, the right foot, maybe bending the left knee too. And observe your breathing, how you're inviting loving awareness into this present moment. And start to unravel onto your belly, making your way very slowly towards child's pose. With your feet together at the back of your mat and your pelvis sinking down to your heels as you rest your torso forward, head down, arms wherever it's comfortable for you, for a few deep breaths. Notice what you're experiencing in your mind, body, and energy. Gently slide your hands back alongside your knees. Drop your chin to your chest. And very gradually inhale, roll your spine upright to sit. Circle the shoulders forward and up as you breathe in, back and down as you breathe out a few times. You might also gently circle the head and stretch the neck in both directions. And then let's slide the legs in front and now lower onto our backs. Starting with your knees bent, set your feet on the ground and lift your hips. Take one of your blocks and place it by the lowest height, wide across the width of the mat under your sacrum, the flat part of your lower back. When it's comfortably and stably supporting your weight, bend your right thigh into your, or a knee into your chest. Take hold of the thigh or shin. And flex your left foot, keeping the left heel on the ground. Straighten the left leg forward to whatever degree is comfortable, spinning the inner thigh towards the floor to prevent turning out the legs. Press the instep of your left foot forward as you hug the right leg closer and closer to your chest. Draw the shoulders into the ground and away from the neck. You could circle your right foot at the ankle, both directions, few breaths. Now, if you're not feeling that much of sensations of stretch in the front of the left hip, you could take your second block and place it on top of the first, or tilt the first block onto another higher level. Just a few more breaths here. Bend your left knee, set the left foot on the ground, Set the right foot on the ground. Pause for 2 breaths and just feel your body. How's it speaking to you? Then bend the left knee towards you. Catch the thigh or shin. Flex the right foot. Keep the heel on the ground as you straighten the right leg to whatever degree you're comfortable with. Forward, spinning the inner thigh towards the floor. Press the instep of your right foot forward. As you ground the shoulders, you might circle your left foot at the ankle in both directions. Breathing in, breathing out. Listen to the flow of breath. One more deep breath here. And set your right foot on the ground. Set your left foot on the ground. Pause. Couple of breaths. Observe. Then remove the blocks from underneath your body, gently lowering your pelvis to the floor. Draw your bent knees in towards your chest and rock a little in different directions, massaging your back. Set your left foot on the floor and take your strap to place around the ball of your right foot flexed. Kicking the foot against the strap, hold the strap in just your right hand, giving yourself enough slack to be able to straighten the right leg as you draw your shoulders both down onto the ground and down your back. Now press your left hand on the very top of your left thigh, ground the back of the left hip, either keeping the left knee bent or straightening the left leg and flexing the foot. From your right hip socket, rotate your right thigh bone externally, turn it out at the hip, and then begin to open the leg out to the right. Now, if you can reach hold of the big toe with your right peace fingers to clasp, then you don't need the strap. Just make sure you're able to keep the shoulders on the floor. So little by little, abducting the leg or moving it away from the midline of your body. Supine hand to big toe pose, or in Sanskrit, Supta Uttita Hasta Parangushtasana. Try to lengthen the right side of your torso here by sending your right outer hip forward towards your inner left heel. About 3 more breaths on this side of the pose. And lifting your right leg up. Draw your bent knee in towards your chest. You can put the strap aside for a moment. Scoot your hips towards the right side of your mat and wrap the right leg over the left leg, sort of like eagle pose. Open your right arm wide on the floor, ground the shoulder. Then lift your feet as you keep the shoulder on the ground. Slowly drop your knees to the left. You could catch your legs with your pillow, your props. If you need a deep release in the lower back, press your left hand against your right outer hip to tilt that hip forward as you breathe out. One more deep breath. And then gently unravel onto your back into corpse pose, recentering your body to pause for just a couple of breaths, observing. Then bend your right knee, set your right foot on the ground. Bend your left knee, hug it in towards your chest. Place the strap around the ball of your left foot flexed. Kick the foot into the strap as you straighten the leg towards the sky, and hold the strap with your left hand, giving yourself enough slack to be able to keep your shoulders grounded. If you can reach hold of the big toe to clasp with your peace fingers, then you don't need the strap. Now press your right hand on the very top of your right thigh to keep the back of your right hip on the floor. If your hamstrings are willing, flex the right foot and straighten the right leg flat on the floor. And from your left hip socket, externally rotate the left thigh. Then abduct the leg or move it away from the midline of your body, breath by breath, while drawing your left outer hip towards your inner right foot, lengthening the left side of your torso. Notice your breathing. Start to lift your left leg, bend both knees, and wrap the left leg over the right like eagle pose. Slide your pelvis towards the left side of your mat and open your left arm wide on the ground. Keep that shoulder on the floor as you lift your feet and slowly drop your knees to the right. Maybe catching your legs with your pillow if needed. And if you need a deeper stretch in the lower back here, press your right hand against your left outer hip, tilting it towards the front edge of your mat as you breathe out. Start to unravel onto your back and come back to corpse pose for a couple of deep breaths. And now I invite you into a pranayama. So gently, please make your way up to sit in a way that you can feel grounded, alert, and relaxed. This breathing technique is helpful for balancing your energy, balancing the feminine and masculine energy, or the yin and yang, as well as the left and right hemispheres of the brain, so neural integration, while calming your nervous system and allowing you to turn your attention deeper inward to prepare for Shavasana and meditation. It's called Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, which means alternate nostril breathing. And it's done by resting the left hand on your lap, maybe placing it in Gyan Mudra to help you focus, where the thumb and index fingers touch and the palm is face up. And then placing the right hand in Vishnu Mudra, sticking out the right thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. Closing the mouth, continue to breathe very softly through the nose, no longer trying to create an audible sound. As we practice this breathing technique, I invite you to close your eyes and direct your inner gaze towards your third eye center, towards the center of your brain, which helps to deepen the concentration and your connection to your intuitive energy. So we'll practice, or I invite you to practice 3 cycles together and then 3 cycles on your own before letting go of controlling your breath, and then observe the effects of it. All right, let's prepare to start by gathering in a deep breath. And opening your mouth to exhale. Now close the mouth, right thumb, close the right nostril, inhale through left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath, 2, 1. Close left, exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right, exhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Second cycle, inhales, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close left, exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right, exhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Third cycle, inhale left, 6. Hold 2. Close left, exhale right, 6. Hold 2. Inhale right, 6. Hold 2. Close right, exhale left, 6. Hold 2. Continue 3 more cycles. When you have finished, let go of controlling the breath and observe. As you continue to breathe naturally, please gently make your way down into Shavasana, placing your body in the most comfortable way to lie down in stillness, letting go of all effort, all doing, closing the eyes. Feel free to use any of your props to support your comfort. Bringing your awareness back to your physical body, what do you notice? Paying attention to how your body would like you to wake it up. Be gentle and start to move and stretch. Taking your time to turn over onto your right side and rest your head. As you pause for a few moments, observe your breathing. How does your energy feel now, nearing the end of your practice? And take your time lifting your body up. Please find a comfortable way to sit tall, relaxed, grounded for 5 minutes sitting in meditation. So we talked about equanimity, this idea of creating a space between stimulus and response. So you can think of stimuli when you're meditating as all kinds of things, whether they're external stimuli like sounds or temperature changes you feel in the air, anything outside of your body. But they can also be internal stimuli such as thoughts arising, emotions shifting. So I invite you to practice being in the seat of loving awareness, where you're practicing observing any and all that just comes up. If you start to notice that you follow something so deeply that you forget that you're observing, and you identify yourself with a thought or whatever it is, as soon as you notice you've done that, you've given yourself the ability to come back. So could practice coming back into that seat of awareness. Notice how your mind and heart feel now. Sense the effects of your practice. In what ways can you integrate the practice of equanimity, giving yourself a breath or few to pause and create space between stimulus and your response, to cultivate inner peace within the ups and downs of external circumstances. Bringing our practice to close, I invite you to think of someone who has been a support, who has contributed to your yoga journey or your spiritual evolution, your process of cultivating mind, body, spirit, well-being, and offering them gratitude. Then come back to your intention or personal prayer. And remember to whom you dedicated this practice. And together, as we chant 3 ohms to close, let your voice send out the vibration we've co-created here to share with the life around you and within. So let in a deep breath. Bowing in, honoring the light within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.